Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Don Daniel, founder of Pill Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And today is Friday, November 4th, end of the week. All right, listen, we're here 3 days a week. We're here on Sunday, we're here on Wednesday, and we're here on Friday. But this Sunday, I'm actually going to be with the BOB crew in Houston, Texas. So there won't be a show here this Sunday because I'll actually be in class learning how to acquire more properties, using alternative techniques, trying to look at this creative financing situation, so that I can learn a little bit more about how to help real estate investors, and not only that, so that I can do a little real estate investing myself, like some of the people on this stage. And folks, before we even get started, got some great people on the stage this morning, and we got people here to ask questions. So let's go ahead and start with Eric. Eric, how are you doing, sir?
Well, good morning, Don. It's a pleasure to be here this morning. Eric Haras coming to you live from the capital of the world here in New York City. I'm doing quite well. Been up early this morning. I'm part of the 4 a.m. club because I've got business going on overseas, and they get a 5-hour jump on us in Europe. So I'm a 4 a.m. jump. I was actually on FaceTime with Giuseppe this morning as well, looking at some business in Florida. So we're happy to be here. Always happy to support the magic that you do for people that are in different steps along their journey. So Don, thanks for having me. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. Lofty, what's going on with you, man? You're up awfully early today.
Good morning, Mr. Dan. This is Lotfi Shortani. I'm a real estate broker and a commercial real estate mortgage lender. I'm here honestly to support and to learn from you, and I cannot thank you enough just for this great actually education like you're given to people, and to show them the path how can they save a lot of money in their mortgages and just pay off their house in like in a very short time. Thank you.
Well, listen, thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here this morning. Giuseppe, how are you, sir? Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm at the top of the world, Don. Thanks for inviting me on the stage. My name is Giuseppe. I'm a real estate investor, Italian real estate investor, and I invest around the world. Thanks the magical financial system that we have in USA, I decided finally to give up in Italy, where I had 1,000 employees, over 100 company, because you think only this number, and I give you the word back immediately. 27 years in Italy, like I said, over 1,000 employees, over 100 company, but Giuseppe never owned over 27 property personally. In USA, 6 years ago, I bought my first property in Cleveland, Ohio. Today, 115 employees, over 500 property, and I started my next step in Florida. I will tell you everything after I build and I close everything, because you have an incredible opportunity in USA. When you buy a property, if the property has income, it's deal for you. In Italy, no. You need to cover the mortgage with your personal tax return. For this, I'm here. I'm here to encourage everybody. This is me. This is Giuseppe. Back to you, Don.
Thank you so very much, Giuseppe. And my name is Don Daniel, founder of Pill Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And we are doing this, helping people to understand amortization schedules, not only in this country, but in 9 countries total. We are truly international, helping people to pay off their debt in under 10 years. I mean, we're averaging 7 to 9 years in paying off the debt. Now, if you're a real estate investor, we're helping real estate investors to add a new metric. I need you guys to kind of zone in on this right now. Now, some people have heard me talk about this, but not in great detail. But I want to tell you right now, every real estate investor I've ever talked to that is cash flowing money like they're supposed to. They bought the property right. They fixed it up right. Everything went well with the rehab, and now they're renting it right. So they're cash flowing like crazy on these properties. Here is the question I've asked And I got the same answer each time. When figuring your profit on these properties, have you ever calculated the interest you paid to get that equity? Every single one said no. They looked at their interest rate, but they did not calculate or count up the interest cost to get these mortgages. And we're going to go over that today. And as we look at this, is going to be the key in understanding how you can take advantage of a 10% mortgage. And they're coming. This one that I'm putting on the screen today came across my desk this week. So if you want to see these numbers, you want to watch us live on YouTube. We're on YouTube right now, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So if you click on the link above, and you click, then you click say watch us live, it will take you to a new page on my 10K card, and then you can see all the places where we are live. Or you can just go to where I just mentioned, and then you can just search Pill Method, and you'll be there live. So we have our first question on the stage. Oh, Credit Goddess. Listen, I almost forgot all about you. You're sitting there so quiet. How are you doing this morning?
I'm great, Don. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Absolutely. Hey, everyone. Happy Friday. My name is Rosalora Lewis, also known as Credit Goddess. I'm all things credit. I'm a credit score improvement strategist. And what I mean by that is not only do I help my clients repair their credit, but through education, I help them optimize and improve their credit so that way they can look good in front of these lenders and get approved. I'm also a business credit coach. I help business owners, entrepreneurs, investors establish business credit so that way they don't ever have to personally guarantee and move their way up to corporate credit. I'm also a NAV business loan broker and an educator in the credit space. So that's me in a nutshell. Thanks, Don.
All right. Thank you so much. All right, folks, we're going to jump right into this thing. But first of all, we're going to have Miss Gabriel talk to us this morning and tell us why you came to the stage. Do you have a question or comment this morning?
Good morning, Ice. Thank you for the opportunity to come up and ask my questions that I have this morning. My question that I have is I have been hearing about this method quite some time. In the beginning, it wasn't that I was not so much interested in it. It wasn't just as a priority to me back then. But now I have different admirations that I have going on with things. I'm very interested in learning how to pay my mortgage off in a lesser time. So I want to know, I'm for sure you're going to discuss that process this morning, but I want to know what is that process, and would this be more so geared towards individual that has a high interest mortgage versus one of the ones that came in at a good time where the interest was already pretty low? Would that process still be the same for that paying off within 17 years? And if so, what is it that I need to do to get myself in line to be one of those homeowners that pay their mortgage off early?
Miss Gabriel, your question is actually going to help us to understand what we're doing with these high interest loans. Do you mind sharing with us a little bit of your information?
Sure.
Okay, so here's what we're talking about. Now, first, are you taking some notes? And this is for
Yes,
everybody
I am.
here. Great. This is for everybody here. All right. First of all, the low interest rates aren't necessarily the good interest rates. Did you know that?
I did not.
Okay. All right. So did you realize that you may be in a better position at a higher interest rate than you are at a lower interest rate to do what you want to do, to
Mm,
pay the loan off early, because the way to pay a loan off early is to pay it off cheap.
mm,
See, here's the thing. When you understand how an amortization schedule actually works, how that formula that the bank uses, what it actually does to a loan, when you understand what that does to a loan, then what you want to be able to ask is, how can I be in a better position to utilize this loan to save me money? Okay.
mm-hmm,
Can I ask you a
mm-hmm,
question first?
mm-hmm.
If your mortgage was 0% interest, if all of your loans were 0% interest, is there any benefit to paying the loan off early financially?
No, because it's 0%.
Exactly. Okay. So then tell me then, why is every program you've ever heard of in life, why do we only talk about how to pay off the principal and not even talk about the real problem, which is the interest?
Well, I am familiar with paying off the interest because I know the interest tax on um a larger amount that makes you prolonging that balance out. So I am familiar with paying off that interest so that you don't have that, you can pay it off sooner or that debt balance can come down.
Okay, so here's what we're talking about. So we know what to do. So we everything, all the techniques that we've heard of are, like biweekly payments. You heard of those?
Yes.
Yeah, like rounding up your payment, putting
Right.
extra money on. That is all managing the principal. But here's the thing: if you pay, if you use these techniques, you're going to save time and you're going to save interest, right? How come we've never learned how to calculate how much interest and how much time?
Right.
Ooh. So let me tell you, you've actually paid extra on loans before, haven't you?
I have.
Okay. Has the bank ever sent you a receipt stating, thank you very much for this payment. Here's how much interest you saved?
No.
What? Let me ask you this question. Do you like discount shopping?
I do.
Do you?
I do like this guy. I like to save. Absolutely.
Come on now, because listen, I went out shopping for myself once. I said once. I brought some clothes home, but I didn't get them off the sale rack. When my wife saw what I did, what do you think she did?
What?
Took those things back and bought me 3 times as much.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah. Less for more. More for less.
So when she checked out, what do you think they printed at the bottom of that receipt?
How much you saved?
What? You mean your department store can tell you how much you saved?
Right.
Your
right.
grocery store can tell you how much you saved.
Right.
But your bank that has your mortgage, your car loan, and your credit cards, they don't tell you how much you save when you pay extra. And you know what's worse, Miss Gabriel?
What?
We've never even bothered to ask.
Right.
We just give that money not knowing what we just bought. So today we're going to learn some of the basics behind all of this and understanding when you have the opportunity, what is the best position to be in to use your money to save time and to save interest, because the more interest you pay, the longer you stay in debt. Okay, you cut that interest out. Now more of your money goes to principal, and you get out of debt faster. Correct.
Correct.
So what you don't need is more money. What you do need is to pay less interest. Let's get into it. All right. So, folks, if you want to see this example, you want to go to either Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or YouTube and search P.I.L.L Method and watch this live, because we're putting it on the screen as I speak. So as I'm putting this up here, Eric, all right, man, listen. You've talked about it, and you've been in the rooms where they're talking about these 10% that we're going to go to double digits. Did you actually believe that we're actually going to go to double digit interest rates? Is Eric in the house? How about you, Lofty? Oh, man, you can't hear me. All right.
We can hear you.
Credit Goddess, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Did you actually believe we're going to go to double digit interest rates?
I remember double digit interest rates.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. I used to be in the mortgage industry back in 2008.
Yeah, I
What?
remember.
So double digits interest rates, you remember. And I thought that was such a long time ago. And listen, you're only what? 21, 22?
No, I'm not. No.
All right. So let's go ahead and let's talk to Miss Gabriel here. Miss Gabriel, would you tell me a little bit about your mortgage? Tell me how much you actually borrowed from the bank. It doesn't have to be exact
hmm
numbers.
hmm So, right now my mortgage is 310,
Okay. Now,
and
is that exactly how much you borrowed at the beginning?
yes, that's how. I'm sorry. That's how much I brought my house from. Excuse me. That's how much I brought my house for initially back May of last year was 310,
310. And the interest rate?
2.75.
2.75. All right. So now it's a 30-year loan, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, folks, before anybody leaves the room, okay? Never get less than a 30-year loan. I know they're offering 25 and 15 and even 10, but never take less than 30. In fact, if I can get a 40-year loan, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to get the 40-year loan and pay it off in 7. Always put yourself in a position so that it's easier on you to make the payments and not the bank, because you can still pay that loan off early. You got me? Okay. So a 30-year loan and a 40-year loan on my program pay off in the same time. But the 40-year loan gives you a more manageable payment, and you can take more advantage of this loan instead of letting the loan take advantage of you. So let's take a look at, I've got 310,000 at 2.75. I'm going to calculate that. Now I'm just talking about your principal and interest payment here, Gabriel. It's 1,265.55. That's just the principal and interest payment. We're not going to talk about the taxes and insurance right now, okay?
You said 1,265.
$1,265.55.
Okay.
Okay, so that should be pretty close to what you're paying principal and interest, okay?
Okay.
Now, here's the other thing. On $310,000 at 2.75, the bank wants you to pay $145,598 in interest over 30 years. $145,598. Does that sound like 2.75% of 310,000?
No.
No. You know why? Because it's actually 46.967% of that number. It's almost 57%. So of the money you borrowed, the bank wants you to pay them back 57% of what you borrowed. That's right. So do we need to be attacking how much you borrowed, or do we need to be attacking how much it cost to borrow?
How much it costs?
Come on now. Isn't that how we buy everything?
Right.
Based on how much it costs. Did you negotiate the price of that house?
No, it's a new construction bill.
Okay.
So no, it was a brand new lot.
It was a brand, but listen, it was a new construction, but did they give you? Did they give you some deals? Did they give you? Listen, did they?
I did get perks in it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so you paid less than retail.
Right.
All right. But you're paying retail for your money. I'm going to show you how to pay wholesale for your money instead of retail for your money. How's that?
Awesome.
Okay. Now, you'll be able to see the replays if you can't see this right now. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Because I got this on the screen. So I'm going to explain it to you. On payment number 1, $555.13 goes to principal. That's to the amount that you borrowed. $710.42 goes to interest. So here's my question to you. Should it cost $710.42 just to pay your mortgage down by $555.13?
No.
No, but it is. So when we break it down that way, it doesn't look too appealing, does it? Cost me $710 to get $555 worth of equity. You realize your equity is the difference between what you owe and what your house is worth.
Right.
So
Right.
by paying it down $555, you have increased your equity by that amount of money. But it costs $710.42 to get $555 in equity. Doesn't that seem kind of backwards?
It does.
Miss Pope, good morning to you. Lakeisha Pope is here this morning watching us on YouTube. And everyone that's watching us online, good morning to you. If you want to see us online, folks, you just go to YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and search Pill Method, and you'll be able to see our live there. And if you have a question, come on up to the stage. So, Miss Gabriel, you're doing fine this morning. Okay, so let me show you how this works. If we let's say we make our payment in January, the very first payment in January, and we pay our mortgage down by $555. We give the bank $710 in interest. But because we have an amortization schedule, we can see that next month, the amount of money that goes to principal is a little bit more, $556.41. And the amount that goes to interest is a little bit less, $709.14. Okay. So here's my question to you, based on what you know to be true. If we started paying in January and the amount of principal I'm supposed to pay in February is $556, do I really have to wait till February to give that money to the bank?
No.
If I have it, can I give it to them early?
Yes.
Oh, guess what? When I give it to them early, if I give it to them in January as well, do you know that all that money is applied to principal as well?
I really know. I didn't know that.
Yeah. $556.41 goes to principal. No extra money goes to interest because they can only charge you interest one time a month.
So even if, let's say I pay it after my due date, so let's say January is due, I paid January already,
Yeah.
but then I paid early for February, still in January.
Yes.
But after that due date, does it still not apply?
It goes to any money you send before February 28 goes to principal. Whether it's a dime or a dollar. Okay. But if we do $556.41, the exact amount of money they were looking for in February, guess what? We just eliminated line 2 from the amortization schedule. You had 360 monthly payments. Now you only have 359 because you gave them that money early. And your next mortgage payment, since line 2 is gone, is the payment you were supposed to make in March. So the payment for March actually moves up one. Line 2 is gone. And the interest you were supposed to pay, the $709.14, guess what happens to that?
It decreased.
It's gone too. Yeah, it decreases to zero. That's $709.14 you never have to pay. How about that?
Okay, so I guess what I'm stuck at.
Okay.
So how long?
Go ahead. Come on.
So how long does it take? Because right now we're just using examples of January payment and February payment.
Yeah.
If I'm paying the exact amount that they're providing, but how long does that take? Are we talking about within that time frame that I'm giving, or how long does that take for that interest to no longer be there and I'm just doing principal?
Okay, so here's what we're talking about here. All right. So if we keep this loan, let me put it to you this way. If we keep this loan for 30 years, remember when you sign this mortgage, they want you to pay a total of $145,598. Okay. Guess what? Now they had the Powerball drawing. I believe was it last night? Did anybody win it? I don't know. I have no idea. All right. But what if it was you or a friend of yours that won that Powerball? And they said, you know what? I'm going to pay off your mortgage. You made one payment on this mortgage. I'm going to pay it off for you. What happens to all those interest payments that the bank wanted from you? What happens to them?
It falls off.
Exactly. Why does that happen?
Because I paid it off early.
Exactly. So if you pay off the entire mortgage early, all the interest payments drop off. Well, if you pay a piece of the mortgage, why can't a piece of the interest drop off?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So of all the interest that the bank wanted from you, you have just reduced it by $709.14 by giving them money that they were supposed to get next month. You gave it to them early.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So let me ask you this. What if you made the January payment and you gave them the principal payment for line 2, line 3, and line 4, a little over $1,600? Okay? That's how much extra that would be for line 2, 3, and 4. What happens to the interest on line 2, 3, and 4? A little over $2,100. That gets eliminated. You never have to pay that. And your next mortgage payment is on line 5 of your schedule. Now, I'm highlighting this so that when you play it back, you'll be able to see these numbers.
Okay.
So if you want to pay your loan off early, then you want to pay it off cheaper. You want to make sure that you're not, I want to be able to give the bank back money at a time which makes it impossible for them to charge me interest.
Right.
So now your money is going to principal and it doesn't cost you $700 to get $500 equity. I just showed you how to get $500 equity for free. How you like those apples?
Love it.
All right. So now I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you something here. All right.
Okay.
In 1 year, all right, in the first year, even at 2.75, you'll pay this loan down by $6,746.21. Okay.
6,000. What now? I'm sorry.
$6,700. We just round it. Okay. $6,700. That's how much you pay the loan down by. But guess how much interest the bank wants from you?
What?
$8,400. That's over $15,000 you pay out in the first year. But you only get $6,700 worth of credit out of that. The rest of the money went to the bank. How fair is that?
Not fair at all.
Okay. So let me ask you this. If we know you're going to give the money to the bank, because, I mean, you're going to give them at least $6,700, right? Because you want to keep the house.
Right.
Do you have to pay it in 12 monthly installments, though?
No, you don't.
If you had it, could you pay them the $6,700 in one installment if you had it?
Yes. You
Did
could.
you know you'd be paid down to line 12 in 1 month? You knock off 12 payments in 1 month if you do that. And you save all the interest payments between line 2 and line 12. All gone. Look at that. Boom. All that's gone. So you get the same amount of equity, not for $8,400, but you can get the same amount of equity for only $710. Which is better.
Yeah. But so is this process that you're saying, is this only work if you're paying that large amount like that?
Oh, no. I'm just giving you some examples here.
Examples. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need to understand what happens. See, remember, I started this out with, we don't know what happens when we give extra money.
Right. Okay.
We have no idea what happens.
Right.
So what we want to do is be in a better position to do this. So we're attacking this loan with, I'm just giving you an example that the principal payment here starts out at $500. Okay?
Yes.
They're $500 payments. But I want to show you one other thing here, and we got a question online. We're going to get to that in just a second. I'm going to put the same loan in at, let's say, 4%. Okay?
Okay.
So if they gave you a choice right now, based on the information you know to be true, if you said they had a choice between a 4% loan and a 2.75% loan, which one would you choose?
4%.
Well, I mean, based on what you knew, based on the information you had before coming into this room.
Well, I would always do the, I would think 2.75 was better
Exactly.
because it was short.
Everybody would do that.
Right.
Everybody on the planet would do that because that is what we have been
So,
educated to do. We have been conditioned to do.
right.
Okay. So if you can afford the payment, which would be $1,479, okay, instead of the $1,265, okay. Now your payment is $1,479, but guess what? Your principal payment drops down to $446, $448. So if you wanted to get rid of one line on your schedule, what would be easier to come up with? $446 or $556?
The $446.
When you raise the interest rate, the principal payment goes down.
Okay.
All right. So when you stay in control, everybody write this down. All right. Write this down. Stay in control of the principal payment, you control the loan.
Okay.
Stay in control of the principal payment, you control the loan. So what we do here at the P.I.L.L method, that we match up the individual with the interest rate. You want the right interest rate for you based on how much money you make. So giving you a rule of thumb and saying this is what everybody does every time to do better on their mortgage. Here's the right amount of money. Well, your situation is different from your neighbors.
Right.
Your situation is different from your cousins. Okay. So when you go to a doctor, would you want to go to a doctor that gave the same advice to everybody?
Absolutely not.
Well, then why do we take the same advice financially and want to apply that to everybody? We shouldn't. So here's what you want. Here's what
I
you
think
want.
it's technically that we go out the mindset if your interest is low, then your payments would be low. If your interest is high, then your payments would be high.
Right.
Not thinking into the fact, if you paying your principal, not having that principal and all that. We're not thinking like that going in. We're just thinking about the monthly payment.
Exactly. We're just thinking about the monthly payment. And so if we're conditioned to do that, what we're not looking at is the long-term benefit,
Right.
or the long-term problems that a higher or lower interest rate would give us. We're not looking at it long-term, what it will actually cost me. We're looking at just what my payment would be.
Right.
So if we could put you in a better position so that you could pay a 1/3 of the interest and then pay off this loan in about 7 years by raising the interest rate, would you want to see what those numbers could do for you?
Sure.
All right. So you'd be able to compare, right?
Yes.
All right. So do you have any other questions for me? Because I've just given you just some basics.
Nope, that was great.
All right. So listen, if you want to know the month, would you like to know the month, day, and year you could be debt free
Absolutely.
based on how much you make?
Yeah, I want to know that, and I want to know how much I would need to pay monthly to do this.
Okay, great. Here's the thing. Your monthly payment would stay the same.
Okay. Okay.
What we're going to do is this. We're going to track your budget, right?
Okay.
How much is Gabriel making and how much do her bills come to every month? Okay? We're going to track that. Any money that's left over, the program, our computer will tell you, Miss Gabriel, why don't you just go ahead and stick that in the savings account? That's easy enough to do, right? When you get paid, it goes into your checking account. You pay your bills, and once the bills are paid, then you have money left over, correct?
Right.
And then what if the program says, go ahead and stick that whatever's left over in the savings account? All right.
Okay.
And then what if in 3 or 4 months you've got a tidy little sum saved up in the savings account? What if the program says, let's take some of that money, not all of that money, but just some of that money, and tells you exactly how much to pay to the penny 3 months from now, apply that to the principal. That doesn't hurt you at all, does it? Because all of your bills are paid. You went out and had a little fun during the month, okay? But the extra money we put into savings, and 3 months from now, we put, $4 or $5, maybe even $1,000 on the mortgage out of the savings account.
Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't hurt at all, would it?
Nope, it sounds like it wouldn't.
All right. Well, listen, all your bills are paid, right?
All my bills I paid, but I'm so used to it would be an adjustment. It definitely would be an adjustment because
Mhm.
that money I'm putting up, I don't have access to no more.
Well, it's in your savings account.
Yeah, but if it's in my savings, that means I don't want to touch it because remember the mindset is to pay it off.
All right. Well,
You agree? I still have access to it.
All right. So here's what you want to do. Let's break it down a little bit more. What if in your budget you said, this is Gabriel's money that I can spend each and every month on me.
Right.
Does it feel better now?
Yes. Okay. I gotta have some wiggle room. I understand the sacrifice, but I gotta be able to do something.
Come on. So we're gonna put in just listen, this is Gabriel's fun money. Nobody touches this but her. Gabriel's fun money goes in here. Nobody touches that. And then after Gabriel has fun and then pays her bills, the rest of that little money goes into the savings account. How you like that? Come on, girl. Does that sound good?
Yes, it does.
All right. And now every 3 or 4 months or so, the program is going to say, let's take some of that money and apply it to principal. And then we're going to figure out exactly how much interest you're saving. And not only that, but we're going to calculate it so that you save the most per dollar. So when you go shopping and you're looking for those deals, you already said it, you want to get the most you can for the dollar you spend.
Absolutely.
So when we do this for you, we're going to make sure you're saving the most amount of interest for every dollar you put on principal. So we're going to tell you exactly how much to. So let me give I'll give you one more example and I'll let you go. What if we could find out that the maximum amount of money you could save per dollar for every dollar you put on there was about $6. Every dollar saves you $6 in interest. And we told you that. But before we could do the calculations and you were putting that money on, and let's say you were saving $3. If you were saving $3, but that's all you knew to do, would you be satisfied with the 3?
Yeah.
Would you be satisfied with the 3 if I told you if you had changed that just a little bit, you could actually save 6?
Absolutely.
All right. So this is what we do. You want to be able to save the most per dollar. And if you don't do the calculations, you will save less than the maximum allowed for you. And that's what we get into. So if you want to do this, if you want to know how to do this, you can go, do you see my 10K card at the top?
I do.
You would click on that and you'll find a button that says Get a Savings and Earnings Report.
Okay.
When you fill out the Savings and Earnings Report, and then one of my staff will get that. We'll do a report for you, and then they'll set up a consultation for you. And then you will know the month, day, and year you could be debt free, usually within a 7 to 9 year window. Some people take a little bit more, some people take a little bit less, but that's the average, 7 to 9 years, not just the mortgage, but all of your debt. And if you have student loans, throw them in too. Everything paid off in an average of 7 to 9 years. How do you like those apples?
Definitely what I'm interested in.
Come on now. That's what we're talking about. Because we're talking about saving interest, aren't we?
Right.
Using your current budget. And we do not want to sacrifice lifestyle because Miss Gabriel said, I got to spend money on me.
Well, I ain't saying I got to spend on me. I just don't want to be. That's going to be a drastic change not to do absolutely anything. I understand it's a sacrifice, and I'm all for sacrifices, but I have to be realistic also to know that after all my bills are paid, every dime is going into a savings is unrealistic.
Yes.
Then yes.
Yes, but after I have some fun, after I can put a little bit of money away after I got everything done, right?
Right.
There you go.
Absolutely.
There you go. That's what happens. And so we'll be able to work that out with you, and you'll be able to track it yourself. There won't be anybody telling you what you can and cannot do with your money. You tell
Okay.
the program what you want to do with the money. We handle what's left.
Okay. Sounds good.
Sound
Okay.
good? All right.
Yes. Thank you
Listen,
so
I
much.
want to thank you. You helped set the stage for everything this morning. Okay? Because when we take a look at these higher interest rates, that means the principal payment gets smaller, doesn't it?
That's right.
Ooh wee. So somebody who has
Yeah.
a 10% mortgage, man, now the mortgages are going to go to 10%. In fact, one came to my office this morning. So I want to thank you, Miss Gabriel. Hang out on the
Thank you so much.
stage. Hang out on the stage. If you have another question that comes up, please share it. I have somebody
Yes, sir.
online from YouTube, and it says you have to specify the extra payment needs to go to your principal because the bank held my money in escrow when I was 3 months ahead on payments and never applied it but kept it in escrow. That is true, Delano Miller. Delano Miller, you have to, if you're escrowing your money, if you've got your taxes and insurance included in your mortgage, you do have to specify, I want that money to go to principal. And you have to do it in the way that your particular banking institution wants you to inform them. Now, if you're not escrowing, there's only one place it can go. It has to go to principal. There is no escrow account to put it in. So I hope that makes sense. So you're absolutely right. All banks that I know in the US giving extra money will default if you just send them a check, okay, that says here's a extra principal payment. The default is to put that in the escrow account, even if it's $40,000 or $50,000. Do you know the default is just to put it in escrow? Oh my goodness, they know you want it to be applied to principal. But folks, let's play the game their way. Learn the rules to the game so that we can benefit. Delano Miller on YouTube. Thank you for that. All right. Listen, we got some folks on the stage here. Anybody on stage have any input into what we've talked about so far? Flash your mics if you have something to say about what we're talking about so far. All right. And let's check the stage. Let's see if we have any hands raised. And let's go ahead and check the chat to see.
Hey, Don, it's Eric. Real quick.
Go ahead, Eric. Talk to me.
Just a thought here, Don, and I just want to back us up to walking in the door with a cup of coffee. It's mindset, Don. You've got to pause what your habits are. And what happens here is Don is teaching a new habit. And this is a system that's going to create a new habit. It is that habit that's going to create the success. I love that Gabriel was just very real to say, look, it's not realistic to try to pencil everything right to the penny. It's not realistic. I need some flexibility in here, Don. I need to be realistic. And I'm here to tell you guys, systems create habits. Habits create success. There's no way around it. You're in a spot right here to install a system that will change the whole game. Don, appreciate you. Back to you.
Thank you. Miss D Jones in the chat has a very, very good point here. It says the average homeowner would need to have the extra funds or the budget. Excuse me. Do you ever have borrowers that can't afford to pay extra? The answer to that question is no. Do you know why? Because if they don't have any money left over after all the bills are paid, then they don't need my program. Guess what program they need? Anybody? It's called bankruptcy. Because they're spending way more after their bills are paid. Okay? So here's let me give you an example of that. One young lady who heard about the P.I.L.L method contacted us and said, I want to know more about what you do. I want to get a savings and earnings report. And so they got but she asked the question, what if I don't have, we call it discretionary funds, discretionary income. What if I don't have discretionary income or money left over after the bills? So I asked two questions. Here was the first question. Well, actually, it was three questions. The first question was, can you pay all of your bills every single month from your income? The answer was a resounding yes. Oh, when people answer that like that, I know they got the money. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is, do you have to ever use savings to help pay your bills in any month? She said, no, I don't have to use savings at all. I said, do you have to use your credit cards to help you to pay your regular bills, or can you pay them just from your income? She says, I don't need credit cards to pay my bills. But she was feeling that she didn't have any money left over. So what I did was we sent her a budget sheet. So I need you on this budget sheet, put in how much you make, and I need you to put in every single bill you actually have to pay. All right? And we didn't hear from her for a while. When she called us back and sent that information to us, I said, well, we didn't hear from you. We thought that you weren't interested anymore. She says, well, I had to do the budget sheet 3 times. I said, why did you have to do the budget sheet 3 times? Because she said, every time I did the budget sheet, I actually had $2,000 left over after all the bills were paid, and she didn't know where it was going. Come on. That happens all the time. More time. Listen, I have, over the years, I've been doing this 16 years. And in those 16 years, we have more people, way more people that have money left over than people who do not have money left over. Because they're not tracking. Now, when we hear the word budget, and Credit Goddess has even said this, when we hear the word budget, we think of it as negative, somebody telling us what we can't do. Budget really means to track what you're spending. Track what you're spending. So as you pay your car note, you track that. When you pay your cable bill or your cell phone bill or your insurance bill, you track that. When I buy food, you track that. When I go out and have a little fun and I spend some money on me, I track that spending so that when it's all said and done, if I track it, then I know how much money is left over. And nobody told me that I couldn't spend or I couldn't do something. I'm just tracking it. You know, we used to track our money. It was easy to track it. You know when it was? When we all had checkbooks with a check register. Do you know they don't even bother to send you a check register anymore? Because we don't track, we don't write down how much we're spending. And when you don't write down how much you're spending, it is easy to keep on spending until the money's gone. And then we start over the next month. That's what happens. So what if it didn't happen that way? What if you did track it and she put her $2,000 a month in her savings account, and then 3 months later, she's got $6,000. What if we took $2,000 of that out of the $6,000 and applied it to this mortgage I have on the screen? What if we did that? All right. If we did that on this mortgage, and we applied about $2,000 on this mortgage, it would knock off 4 payments and save us $2,800 in interest we never have to pay. How about that? And they should still have $4,000 in the bank, but it would knock off 4 payments she never had to make. How about that? This is what I'm talking about, folks. If we watch our budget, we can do this. Now now this is going to be different for real estate investors, but we're going to get into that in just a minute. So before we get into this next one, I want to tell you about another person who wanted to pay off their mortgage early. Miss Gabriel, are you still with us? You might have walked away from your phone, and I'm calling you.
Nope, I'm here. I had to run back into the room. I got my Bluetooth in. I'm listening.
I understand. So listen, do you know who Eric Thomas is? E.T., the hip hop preacher?
No, I don't.
Well, he is the #1 motivational speaker in the entire world. Do yourself a favor go to YouTube at some time and then search for Dr. Eric Thomas or E.T. the hip hop preacher. You will most likely love his videos. Okay, and so
Okay, well, Eric Thomas, Dr. Eric Thomas.
yeah, Dr. Eric Thomas. Yep. And listen, he motivates. He does motivational speaking for the youth, for the NFL, for college football, for pro football. I mean, this guy travels the world speaking. And guess who used our program to pay his house off early? All right, let's hear from Dr. Eric Thomas right now. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, and our team created the most powerful money management, wealth building, debt elimination system ever created. At our recent seminar in Nashville, Tennessee, the keynote speech was delivered by the #1 motivational speaker in the world, Dr. Eric Thomas. E.T., as he's also known, mentioned he paid off his mortgage in 4 years using the P.I.L.L Method. I invite you to watch and listen.
Listen to me, y'all. One of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
Did you hear that? No mortgage, no stress. If you would like to become debt and mortgage free within an average of 7 to 9 years by cutting your interest costs by up to 75%, go to pillmethod.com and request a savings and earnings report today. That's right, folks. Request your savings and earnings report today. Go ahead, click on that link above, all right, and find the button that says Get a Savings and Earnings Report. And if you're online, that is ICE10K.com. ICE stands for Interest Cancellation Expert. ICE, the number 10, the letter K.com. And that will take you straight. That will give you my 10K card. If you want to go straight to the website, just go to pillmethod.com. All right. And then you'll be able to find the button that says Get a Savings and Earnings Report. When you click on that button, just follow all of the directions. And then when you follow the directions, especially the one where we verify that your cell phone number. All right. When you do that, when you click that button, wait for a text. Click that button once. Wait for a text. We're going to send you a text to your phone with a code. Take the code, put it back into the website. That will let you into the financial form. Fill the form out, and within 48 hours, we will contact you and set you up for a consultation. And that information you provided us will tell us when you're going to be out of debt, usually within a 7 to 9 year window, the month, the day, and the year, and how much interest you're going to save. Well, Don, how much does all that cost? It's going to be, now I need you to listen very closely, a net zero cost to you. What does net zero cost mean? Net zero means our average client saves well over $100,000 in interest they never have to pay the bank. So we get a small percentage of that savings. And you get to keep the lion's share. It's going to work out to less than 10%. Oh my gosh. So you get to keep all of that money, and the money that would have gone to the bank anyway, part of that pays for your lifetime program that comes with a lifetime guarantee. And those folks are here that are on this stage, they will tell you, there is no lifetime guarantee on Clubhouse. Oh, you say, oh, Don, are you just saying that, or is that true? Well, I tell you what, do this. Try this little experiment. Google P.I.L.L Method. When you have opportunity, Google P.I.L Method. and you'll find out that birth control is on page 2. We are more popular than birth control right now. You Google pill method. All right. Number 2, go to our Better Business Bureau. All right. You will find out that the pill method in 16 years has an A+ rating and no complaints. No complaints ever. Do you know we've never even had a chargeback? Ever. This is because we promise if you follow our program, you will get results. We guarantee results for everybody. Now, there are some folks out there that they'll get this or that, and they'll say in small print that they can't guarantee your results. We guarantee your results, or you don't pay. Come on. How about that today? All right, let's get back into it. And I got a question in the chat. I got Miss Keisha Smith. Miss Keisha Smith, thank you so much. Is it possible for you to come to the stage so we can handle this? Is it possible? If you can, raise your hand and we'll bring you up. If it's possible for you to come up to the stage. And if you don't, oh, there you go. Gotcha. All right, let's invite her up. All right. Ms. Keisha, come on up to the stage. Thank you very much for that question. And tell us who you are and what you do, please. And tell us all about your question. Hit that look. There you go.
Hi.
Hi
Good
there.
morning.
Good morning to you.
Hi. Thank you for bringing me up. It's a little early here. I'm in California, so but I'm up. Thank you.
All right. 5:57 in the morning.
It's 5:57. Yes. So, so yeah, I'm a mortgage loan officer. I've been in the mortgage industry for about 21 years,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm in California. So I would say 80% of my clients, of course, are in California.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, everywhere over the nation, our home prices are exceedingly higher.
Yes.
But in California,
Come on.
they're astronomical. So
Well, now
with that said,
you put in here, can you do a loan amount of 700K or 800K? Because now listen, now in California, that's the shed behind the house.
absolutely, 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 absolutely. So fortunately, there are some parts of California
Yes.
where, you may be able to get something, you know, uh, 750, 850, depending on where you are. So, a lot of my clients are having to put down 15, even 20% just to kind of get it down to that 700
Gotcha.
loan amount.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
it's yeah, it's high. So I would love to see if, because this method is wonderful. I love it. I've been following you for quite some time, and
Mm-hmm.
this morning I've been listening, and I would love to see if this is something that's just realistic or even doable for my clients.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk
Sure,
about
sure.
that this morning. And
Absolutely.
you give me some numbers and we'll go over it and listen, let's talk about what you are going through right now with your clients and what they're talking about with these interest rates. And we're going to give you something that's actually going to help you to close more loans. How about that, Ms. Keisha?
That'd be awesome.
All right. Now
Absolutely.
give me some numbers to put in here. Are you actually watching us online as well?
I was, but then I went back to Clubhouse because I wanted to put that, because I don't know how to sign into to the YouTube, so
All
I
right.
I
Well,
wanted
listen,
to ask that question, so I came back to Clubhouse.
can you
But I
pull
can,
can you pull it up
sure.
on your laptop or tablet or something? Do you have that?
Let me,
So if you
yeah,
can,
you know what? Yeah, let me go back there. Give
yeah.
me one
So go
second.
there. So because if you leave Clubhouse, I can't talk to you.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So listen. It's in the replay. So if you don't have a secondary device to watch this on, I'll describe it to you, and then you can watch it in the replay. But if you can get to your computer, that's going to be great. We have some new people that hit the stage. RB the Realtor. We got Shiloh in the building. All right, Shiloh, listen. listen, everybody who knows RB, who's in New York. Okay, so we got East Coast, West Coast going on here. We got Eric in the house. Listen, I don't want any fighting breaking out here because I've heard some of these rooms.
New York in the building. We're not playing.
I've heard some of these rooms. Okay, so we got Shiloh. Shiloh, you know, I'm looking forward the next time we go to Costa Rica, staying in one of your properties. Okay.
Let's do this.
All right. So, Ms. Keisha, would you mind if I allow these two great moderators to introduce themselves, and we'll jump right into your question? Can we do that?
Absolutely. Sure. Absolutely.
Fantastic. RB, the realtor, talk to us this morning. Tell us who you are and what you do. Oh, she may be with her children. And listen, when she doesn't come on right away, she's getting the kidlings ready. And I understand that. Let me know when you're ready, RB, and we'll get you in there. Shiloh, talk to us this morning. Who are you and what do you do?
Sure. Thanks, Don. Yeah, my name is Shiloh Lundahl. I'm an investor based out of Arizona. And we have built a portfolio of about 200 units. And we just finished closing another 26 out in North Carolina. We have about 50 out in North Carolina. And just a real estate investor. I specialize in lease options and creative financing and have some really cool new things that I'm doing. One thing that's called a turnkey lease option partnership, where somebody can come in that has some money on the side that wants to put it to work. They come in, they partner with us on one of the deals that we already have going. One that will have a lease option tenant in, and they get an immediate bump in their equity, 25% bump in their equity, and then we split the cash flow. We hold it for 3 years, then we sell it. It produces about a 14% IRR. And that's what I'm doing. That's my new thing.
Hey, Shiloh, you're not teaching that to anybody, are you?
I do. I teach people how to invest in different creative ways. But first I do it myself and make sure it's working. Then I teach other people how to do it too.
Listen, folks, tap on that profile and find out how to connect with Shiloh. Shiloh, is that in your profile? How do we connect with you to learn this stuff?
You can go to meetshiloh.com.
Okay.
Super simple.
Meetshiloh.com. And that's your digital business card?
Yep, that's my 10K business card.
All right, excellent, folks. You heard it. He's teaching it. And in fact, how valuable is information like that? I'm actually jumping on a plane this weekend. I'm going to be in Houston with Byron Holman and the BOB crew, Business Over Breakfast crew, this weekend, learning some of these techniques. So, Shiloh, after I learn that, then I might be coming over to you to learn a little bit more. All right?
Sounds awesome, man.
All right. Thank you so very much. So, RB, you flash your mic when you're ready and to come up and talk to us. And Credit Goddess got an eye on this whole stage and bringing folks up. Miss Keisha, give me some numbers, please, and we'll go over what you wanted to talk about. Principal amount borrowed. How much are we talking? Oh, Miss Keisha, did you walk away? If you're talking, you're muted. So go ahead and hit that unmute button and give us some numbers, please. Oh my gosh, I can't hear her now. So what she has in here, let's go ahead and put in 800,000. All right. 800,000. And we're also going to put in 7%. Okay. For 360 months. All right. So the payment is, the principal and interest payment is $5,322.42. Okay? $5,322.42. Now, what we're hearing right now is, I need everybody to write this down, marry the house and date the rate. Marry the house, date the rate, meaning when the interest rates drop, then you'll be better off refinancing into that lower rate. And I'm here to tell you this morning, not necessarily true. You want to manage this thing called a mortgage, using an amortization schedule, an amortization formula. All right. You want to learn how the formula configures this loan. When you learn the configuration, then you can know how to attack this loan to save time, to save interest, and to get your equity faster and cheaper. Okay? So at 7%, here how the loan breaks down. Okay? If I look at it long term and just want to make every payment for 30 years, on an $800,000 mortgage, the bank wants $1,116,000. How is that 7%? Okay. So total interest paid as a percentage of principal, 139.5%. You know, people ask me all the time, Don, what you're doing seems too good to be true. And then I have to take a look at the loan papers and say, you're borrowing $800,000. You signed this thing, and the bank wants $1,116,000 from you over a 30-year period on an $800,000 loan, and they get to call it 7%. I think that is kind of hard to swallow or believe. So, Miss Keisha, please jump in here anytime you can, because I need to. I would really love to have your input on this. All right. So I don't know what she probably got busy, maybe a phone call or something. All right, Miss Keisha, you there? And if you're trying to talk and it's not working, go out and come back in. Leave Clubhouse and come back in, and then you should be able to talk. All right? All right. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully. So here's what we got going on here, folks. I need you to look at this. Write this down. Control the principal payment and you control the loan. Control the principal payment and you control the loan. And then here's the other thing you want to remember. Interest payments I skip don't matter. Interest payments I skip don't matter. Okay? So here's what we're talking about. When I make this very first payment, look at these principal payments. $655.75. Look at this interest. $4,666.67. So to get $655 in equity, that I'm paying down the mortgage, so I get to do the math between how much I owe and how much the house is worth. So if I pay it down by $655, I now have $655 in equity. But the bank wants me on this particular mortgage to pay them $4,666.67 in interest to get $655 in equity. Folks, if you think that's too much money, put a number 1 in the chat. If you think $4,600 is too much money to pay for $655 worth of equity, please put a number 1 in the chat. And will you please share this room, because we're going to get into this thing and I'm going to show you how you can benefit from a 10% mortgage here in just a minute. All right. All right, I'm seeing the number 1s come in. I'm seeing the number 1s flood in that, yes, $4,666 is too much money to pay for $655 worth of equity. Wake up, everybody. Wake up. It's time to learn. It's time to learn something. I got 12 shares. I got 51 people in here. Let's get some more people in here. Okay? Let's get some more people in. All right. So here we go. So the very next month, we have $659.58 going to principal. Okay. Ms. Keisha, look at this. $659.58 going to principal. If I prepay that, let's say I have a couple of bucks in the bank. If I prepay $659.58, do you realize I save $4,662.84 worth of interest I don't have to pay, and my next mortgage payment is actually on line 3 of this schedule. So when I have this configuration, okay, I don't care what the interest payments are if it makes sense for me. Because I can take $659 out of my bank account and save $4,600 worth of interest I never have to pay. Oh my goodness. Look at that. $659. So somebody is going to pay like $11,000. $11,000. Somebody's going to pay $11,000 to buy the rate down. Okay. So they're going to go from 7%. All right. They're going from 7% down to maybe 6.125. They're going to pay $11,000 for it. Watch this. Watch this. So we're going to duplicate the tab. We're going to get the same $800,000. We're going to put it at 6.125. All right. And we're going to compare the loans. All right. 6.125. Now my payment is $48.60.88 as compared to $53.32. Let's put a calculator on the screen so that you can see what's going on with this. So we got a calculator on the screen. I've got $5,322.42. All right. And then we're going to compare. Okay. We're going to compare and we're going to subtract 4,800. Oops. Delete. Okay. Subtract 4860.88 equals $461.54. So I can pay about $11,000, lower my interest rate down to this payment amount. Now, here's the thing. If you need to lower your payment, that's different from wanting a lower payment. Keep that in mind. If you need a lower payment, do what you got to do to get the house that you and your family need to get. All right. And if you need to buy down the rate, buy some points, so that you're not overspending your budget, then you do what you need to do. But some people are in a position to make the payment and stay well within their budget. They just want a lower payment because they think that's the thing to do. But so let's just assume that this person can do this. They can make the payment. So instead of getting $461 difference, what if they took their $5,322 payment at 7%, and they said, you know what? Instead of taking that $11,000 and buying down the rate, I need you guys to focus in on cumulative principal and cumulative interest. Go ahead and do that, because this will add up all the principal payments for us and the interest. I could take $11,000, apply it to principal. I need you to see this now. That would knock off 16 payments. That's 1 year and 4 months. About $11,000 would knock off 1 year and 4 months. And I need you to see how much interest it would normally cost you. It would normally cost you to pay this down normally $74,000. So would I be better off to buy down the rate if I didn't need to, or take my $11,000 and apply it to principal and kill $74,000 in interest I never have to pay, and knock off a year and 4 months with that money? Miss Keisha, I hope you're in the building. Can you hear that? Well, this is for you. You can now play that back and watch that over and over and over again. So this is some of the things that we're talking about. Now, I need to show you something. If we're just talking about 1 year at 7%, okay? All right, 1 year at 7% on this, we would pay it down by $8,126.48. What if we were to prepay that and knock off just 1 year and 1 month? Okay, we could do that with $8,126. This is if you have it. This is just for informational purposes only. This is not how my program works. I'm just using these numbers so that I can do simple examples. $8,126 prepaid to this loan in 1 month would knock off 12 payments. Look at the amount of interest that we're talking about here, folks. Okay, 55 grand. When I lower the interest rate, okay, I'm going to pay $11,000 to lower the interest rate. Okay, if I have $8,000 on this loan at 6.125 and I apply it, okay, it only knocks off 10 payments. $8,000 only knocks off 10 payments, where it knocks off over a year. It knocks off a year at the higher interest rate. When you're prepaying, when you're in a position to put yourself in a better financial position on these loans, meaning, can I use the money that I have, apply it to principal, see how much money I can save and how many payments I can eliminate? Your money does more work at the higher interest rate. Now, don't go out and just get listen, that doesn't mean go out and try to on purpose get a 15% rate. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is know what your results are going to be. Get with a professional, get with the P.I.L.L method, and before you sign anything, do a comparison. It's called looking at opportunity costs and benefits. If I get my loan here with my income, what can I do with it at this interest rate as opposed to other interest rates? So get the right interest rate for you is what I'm talking about. If you have bonuses, what if your job gives you bonuses where you can, listen, I get a $20,000 bonus or a $25,000 bonus. Well, if you get those kinds of bonuses, do you want a slightly higher interest rate or a slightly lower interest rate? Oh man, I've had people who are financial experts. When they learn this, they request, because of the bonuses they receive, they request a higher interest rate. And the banker looks at them like, did you not hear me? I offered you a lower interest rate. Oh my goodness. I got Miss Coffee Brown in here this morning. All right. Miss Coffee, how are you this morning?
Good morning, Don.
Listen, we're getting ready to jump into this thing and show what happens with a 10% interest rate. Okay. Talk to us this morning, Miss Coffee. Who are you and what do you do?
Can you guys hear me?
Most definitely.
Awesome, awesome. I am at the dealership getting my vehicle taken care of. But my name is P. Coffee Brown, and I'm super excited to be in the building with you guys on this morning. I do whatever it takes. You know, that's my motto, Don, is I do whatever it takes to make it happen. We're in the publisher space, and we are expanding and adding value in that capacity by teaching entrepreneurs, creatives, and collaborators how and why they need to publish a work, have a published work, and how imperative it is to do so. So thank you so much for having me this morning, Don. It's a little bit noisy in my background, but thank you so much for having me, and I'm excited to be here. You're so freaking amazing. I can't tell you that enough. And looking forward to just hearing the wisdom that exudes from you on how we can take ourselves from financial slavery to financial freedom for generations to come. So thanks again, Don. I yield the mic back to you.
Thank you so very much. So, Shiloh, listen, I trust your strategy sessions, your ability to come up with strategies. Same thing with Giuseppe and Eric and Credit Goddess. Listen, if you can come up, I'm getting ready to show a 10% loan. If you can come up with some strategies or some ideas or some questions that somebody might ask with their current knowledge base, and say, what would a real estate investor do with the information you're talking about, Don? That would make a very interesting conversation. So I'm going to give Miss Keisha one more opportunity. Maybe she's back. Miss Keisha, are you available? All right. She had to, so something took her away, folks, because I know she wanted this information. She can get it on the replay. Miss Keisha, go ahead and tap on my 10K card, ice10k.com, and then you'll be able to set it up with my office so that we can have a private conversation so you can know how to help your clients, so that you can learn how to close more deals, helping them to understand if you can afford the payment, don't sit on the sidelines at these higher interest rates, because at the higher interest rates, you could be in a better financial situation to take advantage of these loans once you understand how to read an amortization schedule. Okay, so folks, here we go. We're just going to put this on the screen. We're looking at $468,900, okay, at 10.625. 10.625. Now, here's the thing. Because of this particular this person's debt to income ratio, because of this person's credit score, this is what they have to deal with. In fact, they are more to get this refi. Actually, they were quoted 15.325. That was the original interest rate, 15.325. They bought 4.7 points for $22K, $22,000. But 4.7 points to get it down to 10.625. So we can talk about what that 22,000 could have done. Should they have gotten a higher interest rate or a lower one? Let's not talk about that right now. Let's just talk about this 10.625, because I am convinced that the whole nation will be here soon. Let's find out what we can do and how the loan looks at 10.625. All right. So the bank wants on $468,900 over 30 years. They want $1,091,000 in interest. $1,091,000 in interest. Wow, wow, wow. I listen, my engineer just turned on his camera. Listen, if you want to say something bad, because you just in the background making sure everybody can see everything, and they think I'm doing, Kirk, they think I'm doing everything. I'm not doing everything. All right, Kirk, before I jump into this example, could you just tell them who you are and what you do for the P.I.L.L Method Club? Come on, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My name is Kirk Nugent. I get a chance to serve in the capacity of producer for this show, making sure that you guys can see, you can hear, you can have your comments on screen, that you can see the examples. Don gives himself way too little credit. He actually runs a lot of the stuff himself, man. You see him figuring it out and sharing the screen and doing the different things. He's got the sound effects going. I mean, it's really awesome to see, man. And so I'm excited about clients like Don. And why do I say client? Because Don is somebody that I'm working with to make sure we get his message, right? His unique flavor of financial advice, which you guys are bearing witness to this morning, but getting that out there to the masses, because that's what live video does. Live streaming. That's one of the things I believe, is that your live stream is your digital storefront, because there's no greater way for people to experience your greatness than for them to see you do it live. And when they see you do it live, they don't need that little, that little chicken wing that they give you with the toothpick in the mall. You don't need the taste test. They're ready to buy. They're ready to purchase. They're ready to work with you. They want your genius, your expertise, your brilliance working on their behalf, because they've seen you do it. And that's what Don is doing for you guys right now. I'm telling you, this is a masterclass in how to get it done. The types of leads he's getting because of his live show is exponential. That's the part he's not telling you guys. I know he's telling you a lot, but he's not telling you why is he live 3 days a week? I had him come on my show and we asked him that very question. Don Daniel, why do you go live? And he almost preached a sermon to us, y'all. All right, I'm done, man. But yeah, Kirk Nugent, your live video coach. We believe that your live stream is your digital storefront. We'd love to be able to connect with anybody that wants to utilize these platforms, not only for discoverability, but to establish yourself as a thought leader and to create steady streams of referral-based opportunities. That's what we do. That's what we love to do. That's our secret sauce. And if you want to connect with us, my 10K card is in my bio. But I don't know if I'm on Clubhouse right now. So Kirk10klive.com is my 10K card. Definitely connect with me. I'd love to grab 15 minutes with you and chat about your vision, your platform, what it is you might be able to do with live video. Go ahead, Don.
All right. Thank you very much, Kurt. Listen, before I get into this, I've got it up on the screen here, folks, but we have a good time on this show. All right.
Yes, we do.
Listen, we laugh. We have a very good time. It's a high energy type show, but I want to take the time right now for everybody to listen in. Whatever you're doing, stop doing and listen to what I am about to say right now. The reason why we do it, our purpose for existing is that you deserve to know this information. You deserve to know how a loan actually works. For 88 years, amortizing a mortgage has been popularized, and we're doing it, and we're not teaching anybody how a loan actually works, not even loan officers. And we have been given strategies that actually make the bank more money. Am I demonizing the banks? Absolutely not. You know why? Because they have a product I love to use. I love borrowing their money to level up my business. And I've learned how to borrow it at a discount. I get it 75% off because I know these strategies, and I want to teach them to you. Everybody deserves to know. And with the P.I.L.L method, I'm going to go on record. All right. And anybody can challenge me on this. And I don't care if they have their slide rule, if they're an engineer, if they write code, it doesn't matter. The program that we provide, I guarantee you, there is no program on the planet that can save you more interest and pay off loans faster than the P.I.L.L method. None, none, none. And people have tried for 16 years and haven't even come close. So if you believe you deserve to know, if you're looking for a better way to do something, if you're looking for a better way to handle your finances, this is it. If you're satisfied with what you're doing, this is not for you. And it's as simple as that. But if you're looking for a better way, you found it here with the P.I.L.L method. Take a look at this on the screen, folks. This mortgage is $468,900 for 30 years, and the payment, the interest rate is 10.625. Let me tell you, the person who has this mortgage can well afford it. Can well afford the $4,333 payment, because they actually refinance this to pay off some debt. Okay? They can well afford it. The family makes plenty of money, so they can afford this payment. So now look at how the payment breaks down. And based on what you've learned today, based on what you've learned already, and you've been in my room, you may have been in my room already before, I need you. Come on. I need you to take a look at these principal payments and tell me if I have a principal payment of $181.37. I'm paying down this loan by $181 a month. I'm paying in interest $4,151.72 in interest. Wait a minute. At 10.625, how much goes to pay down the loan? $181. How much goes to interest? $4,151.72. If you've been in this room before, and just even if this is your first time in the room, can somebody put in here how they can look at this loan and see something good in it if that's what they have to do? Can somebody see something good in this loan? And if you can see it, can somebody type in the chat or come to the stage and tell me why this is something they can take advantage of? All right. Somebody want to put it in the chat or come to the stage? Come on, raise your hand. Raise your hand. Come on up. All right. So,
Let's see what we got in the comments.
Okay, we got any comments? Got any comments?
No,
All right.
no, just people responding. But
All right. Listen, folks. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you what's going to happen with this thing at 10%, and that nobody has ever showed you, because the loans are going to go to 10%. Watch this. $182.98. If they can well afford this, do you think this particular family can come up with an extra $182.98 to prepay to this loan? Because at 10.625, look at the tiny principal payments. Credit Goddess. Did I? So Gary Jones said, go to payment number 12. Okay, Gary. Gary said, mercy. Look at those tiny principal payments. Because once you know how to read this thing, listen, I don't remember when I first learned how to read a word or, on my own, but it had to, it had to feel really good. But I do remember in my later years when I finally learned how to do something that was difficult to do and what it felt like. When you look at this amortization schedule now, knowing what you know now from this room, look, when you control the principal payment, you control the loan. All right? So $182 prepaid knocks out 1 month of payments on this loan and saves over $4,000 in interest you never have to pay. Because I came up with $182. Look at that. And Gary Jones Jr., who's watching us on YouTube right now with like 14 other people. We have, how many people? Got 51 people in here on Clubhouse. Folks, I got 17 shares. Can you please help me and share the room a little bit more so more people can come in here and see what $182 can do for them if they have a 10% mortgage? Gary says, go to line 12. Look at cumulative principal and cumulative interest on line 12. If we pay this mortgage, now remember, this family can well afford this mortgage, okay? Because it serves their needs, and this was the best that they could do, okay? Watch this. If they make 12 on-time payments, they will pay this loan down by $2,285.64, but it will cost them nearly $50,000 in interest to do it. $50,000 in interest to pay their loan down by $2,200. Folks, if you think that is outrageous, put a number 9 in the chat right now. Okay, Giovanni says, pay the $22.85 and save almost $50K. You got it, my brother. You got it. Crazy. Giovanni's been in here. He's been in here morning after morning. He's one of our regulars. Thank you, Giovanni. Okay, you need to come to the stage sometime and talk to us. Do you see that, folks? $2,200, pay the loan down, but we got to pay the bank $49,000 in interest because we don't know how to understand how to read this thing. But once you learn how to read it, this guy has quite a bit of money in the bank. They could easily take out $2,285.64 and prepay this and knock off 12 months worth of mortgage payments they never have to make and save nearly $50,000 in interest. I mean,
Wow.
listen, folks. There comes a point. There comes a point when something that you're doing becomes so overwhelming that you know something and you fully understand it. And you're trying to get it out to the masses. You're trying to tell people you don't have to do it this way anymore. You could do it another way. And take that money, take that 50 grand that the bank wants and put it and invest it in your family. Let's take a look at something else. Let me see. Listen, I know people right now that have over $5,000 in savings. They got over $10,000 in savings. They have over $25,000 in savings. You may be one of them. You may be one that has that kind. You have been blessed to have that kind of money. Do you see here that $5,000 of your $20,000 you may have in the bank on this loan would knock off over 2 years on this loan and save $100,000 in interest you never have to pay? Folks, if you think that's powerful, put a number 9 in the chat right now. If you what I just said, if you think it's powerful, put a number 9 in the chat. If what you're hearing you've never heard before, but you think it's powerful, Steve Max says, yeah, number 9. Number 9's going in the chat. Mr. Eric, you're still in the room here. Are you available to speak to us this morning? All right, because listen, he is New York realtor. I mean, he was probably in one of his international meetings right now. But folks, I just get so excited about this. Any moderator right now, flash your mic because I want to ask a question to you. Anybody on the stage, flash your mic if you're available so that we can talk, because I know people get busy during the day. If you're in the audience and you want to come to the stage, raise your hand so that we can talk about what you just learned today. 10%. 10% mortgages are coming. 10% mortgages are here. They're going to be more prevalent for everybody. Right now, most people are at about 7.25. Once they get these loans, they're about 7.25. The Fed just raised interest rates again by another 75 basis points. The interest rates are going to keep going up as we try to get a handle on inflation. I'm trying to tell you, if you are a real estate investor, if you are a mortgage loan originator, if you are a real estate agent, and you can help people to understand if you are ready to buy a home or a rental property, you need to understand how to read an amortization schedule so that you can put yourself in a better financial position. You, as a real estate agent, owe it to yourself and to your clients to learn how to read an amortization schedule. You, as a mortgage loan originator, owe it to yourself to learn this so that you can teach your clients how to read an amortization schedule. And I'll guarantee you, both of you, real estate agents and mortgage loan originators, will close more deals because you can make people comfortable with understanding what's really going on so they won't walk away from you. They're saying the interest rates are too high because we're no longer at the 2 and 3%. They're going to walk away because, listen, if I can't get 2 or 3%, I'm definitely not going to pay 7. I'm not going to pay 10, even though I can afford it. If they can afford it, here's the other thing, folks. If you have a higher interest rate and they're saying 10K card just came into the room. All right, let's get him up here. All right. All right. So listen, 10K. We've been using your 10K card all morning. People tapping on my face. I got bruised. I got bruised, man. Okay. They're tap they're
Listen,
tapping
you
on
want
that.
them where it's quiet? Okay.
They're tapping on that 10K card just to be able to watch us online as we talk about. I just had a 10% loan that came across my stage. Okay, credit cleanup woman is in here. Lofty is back. All right. So, Sean, why is that 10K card so powerful, man? Talk to us because you're the originator of this thing. I need to take a drink of water.
I mean, it's very simple, Don. Take a look at this. If people are fully aware that you're the guy that's actually helping individuals to escape some of those interest payment, they will want to share you with their friends and family. They will want to let other people know who you are, what you're doing, and they'll also want to have proof of who you are, what you have done. So what that 10K card does, it put not only the savings and earnings report on it, but it also put all your social media channels on it, including your YouTube channel. And on your YouTube channel, I know you have over 300 hours plus of video speaking on the interest cancellation process. So if you ask why the 10K card is important, guys, let your life's work be customized in one place that someone can actually go to and be like, hey, you know what? This is who this individual is, and that's what they're doing. So the 10K card is just a very simple way to put your website, phone number, email, social media links, everything that relates to you and what you do all in one place. So when they want to consume your information, it's easy. When they want to share you with their friends and family, it's easy. And that's what 10K card does for you. With that said, Captain Don, just a pleasure being here to support you, man.
All right, thank you very much, 10K. Listen, folks, this is just another example of how things are happening in this day and time. When we used to give out paper business cards, now everything is digital. Okay? I keep all my on my phone. I keep all my digital cards in one file on my in on my phone. What is that? What do you call that page? I can't hear it. What did you say, Kirk?
The 10K
Yeah,
card,
but
or
on my phone. All right. What's
oh, you mean your contact list?
yeah. No. This page here, the very first page. That is my dang it. I can't think of the name right now. My homepage. Yeah. I gotta keep it on my homepage. So I keep it on my homepage
Your
there.
home screen, your home screen.
My home screen. Yeah, my home screen. I keep it on my home screen so I can just click on the all my digital cards are in one digital file. And so I can pull them up or I can do a search and anyone I want to talk to comes up. But guess what? If I not only have their phone number, but any other information I want. What if I'm looking for the phone number and I see all their social media? Well, I may just tap on their social media and start liking their stuff. Oh, I might see their website that's on there and might go to the website. I might see a special offer that they are looking. I'm looking for a phone number, 10K, and I see their special offer. Why? Because it's on the 10K card. Folks, if you want to know more about that 10K card, you just go up there and tap on mine, and there's a little button down at the bottom there that says, "Get a 10K card like Don."
That's right.
Come on, get yours.
Don, even before you go there, here's something that just revealed to me while you were speaking.
Come on.
So we always hear the phrase that says, when man plans, God laugh. When man plans, God laugh. And the reason for it is this. You may think this entire audience need to see your Facebook. You may think the entire audience just need to see the savings and earnings report. So that could have been the one link that you put at the top. But you made a decision to put a godlike link at the top, which is your 10K card, obviously. And what that allows the audience to do is to discover anything that they choose. So you may be speaking on the savings and earnings report, and a thought in the mind of the audience or one of the members on stage might say, you know what? I want to see his YouTube channel. You know what? I want to see some testimonials. And because of the 10K card, they can access any link of their choice. So I just want to put that one piece in there, which I think is a big separating factor.
Because can 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 I stop here for just a second? Okay. Tomorrow I'll be going to church. Okay. And in my study of the Bible, I've learned that God wants the very best for me. I want to grow to that His image of me. You know what I found out? That this may seem simple to you, that I know for a fact that once you plant a tree, it will not arbitrarily, the tree will not choose to grow to half its height. The half the height that tree is available to grow to, it will not arbitrarily choose to grow to half its height that it was intended to be. A bird will not choose to be half of what it could be. It's going to grow up to be all that God intended it to be, that bird. A tree, a plant, they're going to do everything that they were designed to do. It's in their DNA. We are given, imprinted with that same kind of DNA to grow to all that we can possibly be. But human beings are the only ones that can choose to be less than they were asked to be. I can use a 10K card to help me level up. I can understand my finances so I can get a bigger bang for my buck. I can read some books so that I can learn how to be a better leader, a better husband. I can learn how to be a better boss, a better business owner. I can learn how to be a better whatever. The information is out there. I'm supposed to grow and be as much as I can be. Having my 10K card is just one of those things that I can do to help me to level up. Now, why do I mention that? Because I don't know of any other type of card, paper or digital, that is better than this one. So I want the best. I want the best from me. And this is why I choose that. And this is why I wanted to stop and bring this up while we're doing this. And this is why we're here this morning looking at 10% mortgages. Look at this, 10.625. And we're learning, just by learning how to read an amortization schedule, we're learning how we can see that. So it's, oh no, so Miss D Jones says, is it the link tree? No, this is 10K cards. Okay. Think of, I don't know, how would you compare 10K?
D Jones, is great that you know Linktree, but this is Linktree on steroids, my dear. This has everything that Linktree has and so much more. And most importantly, it's a tool that's more focused on helping you to grow and connecting with your clients. So this is not just a pretty thing. This is, as you make changes, the card changes with you. And also, it's one of the best representation of who you are as an individual.
Okay.
I'll contact you directly and give you a little more information on it if you wish.
So Miss Monique McKay says, so with this, you no longer need a business card, a paper business card. So here's what I do when I go to events. I can actually post, if I'm giving the event, if I'm speaking, do you know I can have on the screen my QR code for my 10K card, and people can scan that. If I have my iPhone, I can airdrop it to everybody in the room. If somebody comes up to me and says, Don, can I have your card? I can open up my phone and I can show them my QR code and they can scan it. It goes instantly into their phone and they can add it to their contacts or put it on their home screen. It is amazing. Listen, there are two people out of this whole stage that asked about the 10K card. Guess what I'm going to do for you? Because when you take advantage of an opportunity, okay, you should be blessed for that opportunity. Miss Monique McKay and Miss D Jones, do you already have a 10K card? If the answer is no, I'm going to get you the basic card. Okay? I'm going to have 10K's crew start working on it. 10K, could I do that? Could I do that for these two ladies, please?
Man, I'm already one step ahead of you. The team is already working on that.
All right. So because you said something, and you were the first two that said anything about this, listen, I'm going to make sure you get that. All right? Thank you so very much. And listen, and then once you get that card, 10K, he just gave you his number, okay? He gave you a number to call, and you can level that thing up. I mean, you can make it do all sorts of things. And what is it? You can optimize that card for you, for your business, for your social clubs, for your religious activities, whatever it is you want to level up on that card, you can do. All right? So I haven't given out a paper card since I don't know when. I still have them, but I haven't given them out. And what's great about this card is when I make a change on my card, I've given my card, my digital card out to thousands of people, because they see it here. I mean, people have my card that I don't even know because I post it here and they save it. Okay? So when they get that card, all right, and I make a change on my personal card on my phone, do you realize it changes all those thousands of cards instantly of people I don't even know? So when I have a special event coming up, I'm going to put it on that card so they'll be able to see it. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So Shantae Heron says, not sure if I missed it, but it is $100. No, or a one-time charge. All right. Okay. No, it's not a month. It's not a month. It's a one-time charge. Okay. It's not, I won't pay I don't need to pay $100 a month. So what we're going to do is show you how, not only how powerful it is, but how economic it is. It is so much cheaper than the paper cards. Okay. It is going to go further. It's going to go farther, faster, on less of your income. That's what we're about, folks. We're about leveling up, getting a bigger bang for your buck, not only for your advertising, for your networking, but also when it comes to borrowing money. I hope the time that we've spent with you today you can understand what we're talking about. And right now on the screen, I have Kurt put up my book. Let me tell you a little bit about this book. Okay, how do I know how to when I'm explaining these amortization schedules? Do you want to know how I know what I know about this? It is not because somebody sat me down and taught me. It is because I'm autistic. Some people call it Asperger's. When I look at an amortization schedule, I see things in pictures and patterns. So when I look at an amortization schedule like this, I'm saying, why are we doing it this way? Why are we concerned about this thing when it is very clear to me that we're better off doing it a different way? And that's what we're dedicated to. What I see, I want to be able to explain to others who are looking for a better way. Shantae said, I ordered the book. Husband did mortgage for a while. My husband sees things in pictures as well. Okay, Shantae, thank you. So, that's how I see things. Okay, It's not the math. I never was good at math. I'm getting a lot better at math, but it's not about the math. It's about the pictures for me and how it looks in my mind, and how, because I'm great at figuring out puzzles, and looking at how to strategize and do things differently. How can I come up with a better way, a better solution? That's how my mind works. So when I see this amortization schedule, we come up with better solutions than what the bank is offering, what is commonly being taught. And right now, we see here that somebody paid $22,000 to get this rate. What if they had put $22,000 on their principal instead? I want to show you what would have happened. We're going to take a look at cumulative principal, folks. Cumulative principal, and see what happens when you put $22,000 on this mortgage. Okay, here we go. Look at this. I'm scrolling down. $22,000. Look at those tiny principal payments. So you just kind of look at those principal payments and say, how many of these principal payments can you fit into $22,000? 83 payments worth. 83 payments. 83 payments. Okay. 60 payments, that's 5 years. This is 6 years. Almost 7 years you can take off this loan with the $22,000 paid to buy down the rate and save over $330,000 in interest. Folks, why? We're stepping over dollars to get to dimes. We're buying down the rate. We're doing a lot of things that we have been taught to do. We're getting 25-year loans or 20-year loans. We're looking at interest rate, but we're never looking at interest cost. Folks, let me ask you something. What if this is a real estate investor? What if this is a real estate investor? Okay. And we take the same loan, we duplicate this tab, and this is a multifamily property. What if it's a multifamily property and the payment, the interest rate was the original 15.325. Real estate investor now has this. They get a new payment. Here's the new payment. Multifamily. Now the payment is $6,000 a month. What if they're bringing in $8,000 or $9,000 a month in rent? Okay, $8,000 or $9,000 a month in rent. Do I care that my interest rate is 15% if I'm bringing in about $9,000 in rent, but my mortgage payment is $6,000? Do I care? Anybody, put it in the chat. Do I care if my interest rate is 15% on a multifamily property if I'm bringing in $9,000, but it costs me $6,000 for the mortgage? Do I care? No, I don't care. I know, you know it. Listen, that's $3,000 a month I'm making. So let me show you this. Let me show you this. If that's the case, here's what. Now look at this. This should blow your mind. I need to hear from some folks. Steve just came to the stage. Steve, I hope you can see this. What do you have to say this morning, sir?
Hey, good morning. I had a quick question for you.
Come on.
I can't see it because I'm working, but my question to you was, what's the difference if I pay down every month versus the year or 2 years? You gave an example earlier. If the person paid on the principal $4,000, so what's the difference from that versus the $180 per month?
Okay, let me ask you this. So if you're paying on every month, then a person is going to try to come up with how much they want to put on their mortgage monthly, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So are you going to put down all the money you have available every month, or are you going to choose something less than all the money you have available.
Choose something less that's reasonable though.
Okay, something less that's reasonable. Okay, so that is why we don't do it, because you have actually more you could have put down, but you're going to choose something less than, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, but so what if you had it sitting in the bank? Instead, what if we could, let's say you're choosing to put in I'm going to put in $300 a month, okay?
Okay.
All right. But I actually have $1,000 left over every month. All right. So I'm going to do $300 a month for 3 months. Okay. That's a total of $900, correct?
Right.
So, and if I have $1,000 left over in 3 months, I could put $3,000 in the bank, couldn't I?
Right.
If I have $3,000 in the bank, do I feel bad about using $1,500 of those $3,000 to put on the mortgage in 3 months? You see, I will use my money better if I stack it and find the right amount to put on, as opposed to trying to find a number I can put on every month that I'm comfortable with, because I'm going to put on less money than I could have put on. Does that make sense to you?
Right. And then the money's not making money sitting in the bank.
It's certainly not. It's certainly not. So if I'm putting $300 on a month, what is my $700 doing that I have sitting in the bank? What's that doing? Making 0.1%?
Right.
Okay.
Working for the bank, not for me.
There you go. That's why we don't do that. That's why our algorithm is set up to take a look at whatever you have available. Anything that you have after everything is paid, then the program asks you to put the excess in the bank, and our program will figure out for you what is the right amount in the right month on the right day of the month, and we're going to figure out the maximum amount of interest you could save per dollar. Thank you very much, Steve. We are all done for today, folks. This is the fastest 2 hours on Clubhouse, but I need you to see this. I've got a real estate investor here, all right? This last example has a 15% mortgage, and they're not looking at how much interest they're paying, because they're looking at their mortgage payment, but they're making a mortgage payment of around $6,000 a month, but they're making $9,000 a month. They're not looking at the fact that they only paid the loan down by $800 in 1 year, but paid $71,000 in interest to get it. All they have to do is take $800 of that, some of that money that they're making, apply it to this mortgage, and knock off 1 year and save 70 grand in interest. Real estate investors, you're leaving millions of dollars on the table. What do I mean by that? Where you could be saving a ton of interest, and that interest saved can then be reinvested in other properties and then turned over several times. Take that money and invest it and make 15-20% on your money in your investments in real estate, instead of giving it to the bank to do the same thing. I hope you see something here. If you're a real estate investor and you have a 15% loan, because some people ask me about hard money. I said, I don't care about hard money. I don't care about any of that. What I care about is the interest cost, and can I mitigate it? How much am I making, and what can I do with the money that I have? And can I take advantage of a higher interest rate before it takes advantage of me? Folks, we're not going to be here on Sunday. I'm going to be in Houston. And listen, contact me over my 10K card. If you live in Houston, listen, come by. Here's what I'm going to do. I got a suite in Houston, downtown Houston. I have a suite. If a group of you want to come together and meet with me in the room for a private session, you need to get my 10K card. Go to don10k.com and contact me, send me a text or whatever, or contact my office and find out where we're staying, and then come to my suite. And then we'll have a whole group of you, and we'll do a private session. How about that? Kurt, thank you so very much for what you do, my brother. And Kurt is going to take us out. He's going to take us out online right now and play Eric Thomas one more time. But hang out here on Clubhouse, and I'll be right back. If you're online and you want to be in the afterglow, come over to Clubhouse. Kurt, thank you so very much for what you do, my brother. And we will see you on Wednesday. Okay? Back online. Thank you so much, everybody. Goodbye online. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, and our team created the most powerful money management, wealth building, debt elimination system ever created. At our recent seminar in Nashville, Tennessee, the keynote speech was delivered by the #1 motivational speaker in the world, Dr. Eric Thomas. E.T., as he's also known, mentioned he paid off his mortgage in 4 years using the P.I.L.L Method. I invite you to watch and listen.
Listen to me, y'all. Well, one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
Did you hear that? No mortgage, no stress. If you would like to become debt and mortgage free within an average of 7 to 9 years by cutting your interest costs by up to 75%, go to pillmethod.com and request a savings and earnings report today.